Hello, everyone. I'm Ralph, a software engineer here at Genesys, and I would like to share in this DevDrop how to use Amazon API Gateway to invoke Genesys Cloud APIs. And this is part one, an introduction to API gateways. Before we delve on how to do it, let's discuss why do we want to use an API gateway. And I'm not just referring to the implementation of the Amazon Web Services. So an API gateway is a software component that acts as a single entry point for all API requests sitting between clients and backend services, receiving requests, routing them to the appropriate service, and then aggregating the responses to send back to the client. It acts as a middleman to manage API access and streamline communication between applications and various backend services, like the Genesys Cloud API, that often includes features like authentication, rate limiting, monitoring, etc. So rather than calling directly to Genesys Cloud APIs, here are some benefits in using an API gateway. So I've just summarized three. The first one is centralized control. Since an API gateway already acts as a single entry point for all of your clients that access your suite of resources, it simplifies management and allows for consistent security policies across all applications. It abstracts the complexity of interacting with various backend systems, making it easier for developers to build and maintain integrations. Can also monitor API usage patterns to identify performance issues and apply cost optimization over your system. The second one is enhanced security. You can implement robust authentication and authorization processes at the gateway level. You can transform or mask sensitive data within requests and or responses before reaching your backend services. You can also control the rate of requests and apply cybersecurity implementations like DDoS protection, firewall, etc. And lastly, improved performance. You can cache frequently accessed data across your backend services, reducing latency and improving response times for your clients. You can also utilize load balancing to distribute traffic across multiple instances of your backend services, ensuring high availability and scalability. So with the Amazon API Gateway, you will be able to configure these things. And with that, I'll give you an overview on what the Amazon API Gateway offers. So here are some of its features. It supports stateful and stateless APIs. So for the stateful, it has WebSockets. And for the stateless, it has the HTTP and REST APIs. It also has powerful and flexible authentication mechanisms, such as the AWS IAM policies, Lambda authorizer functions, and the Amazon Cognito user pools. You can also do a canary release deployments for safely rolling out changes. So it deploys only to a few people in order to to catch any bugs, and it will only be caught by a few people before it gets released to a lot of people over time. The next is cloud trail logging and monitoring of API usage and API changes. It also uses CloudWatch for access logging and execution logging. It also has the ability to use AWS CloudFormation templates for enabling API creation, the support for custom domain names, integration for AWS WAF for protection for your APIs, integration with AWS X-Ray for understanding and triaging performance latencies. And there is so much more. Uh, Obviously, the Amazon API Gateway has an integration to a lot of the AWS tools, and most of it can be supported with the Amazon API Gateway. And that's it for the first part of the DevDrop. So for the next video, I'll be discussing the things that we'll be needing and an overview on what type of API gateway you'll be using to invoke Genesys Cloud APIs, particularly what we saw last time, which is the HTTP or the REST API. So that's it for the first part. I'll see you in the next video.